Hey, Edward, I have
Yeah.
some interesting question. We just wanted to ask you. So,
Cool.
what the first thing bring you to the fashion world?
Oh, okay. God, that took me. I was very late in coming to the fashion world. I never cared very much about fashion, but when I was working and I needed to buy a new suit, a
Okay.
friend of mine took me to a very expensive department store in New York.
Yeah.
It was Barney's, and they said,
Okay. I
"Oh,
know that. I know Bali. Yeah.
you should buy this. You should look at Ralph Lauren." And I said, "Ralph Lauren,
Yeah.
that must be so expensive." But I tell you, Mr. Tung, as soon as I put the suit on, I felt the quality of the fabric. I felt the quality of how it was put together. And of course, the salesperson was also good at knowing what was going to look good on me
Yeah.
and my body. And I realized, and yeah, it was more expensive, but it was very much worth it. And
Yeah.
that suit lasted for a very, very long time. In fact,
Yeah.
I probably still have it, and I can take it to a tailor and have it fixed. So it's something that lasts for a long time.
I
And
know. I know.
so then after that, then I had no problems going to look for designers, and I had a better idea of what good quality was and what it felt like. But it didn't happen to me until I was like 45 years old, and then I felt so slow to get to have this appreciation. Because
Yeah. You should.
before that, I
You should
just
know it.
thought, oh, fashion is just for people's ego or people to feel
Sir,
vain,
or
and
a
but
singer. Yeah.
yeah, singers or just
Yeah.
flaky people or whatever. No, when I experienced, then everything out after that wasn't only suits. Then I found more like interesting shirts and even
Yeah.
shoes sometimes. And it didn't always have to be loud and colorful. It just had to be,
Yeah.
it could be classic, and that was fine too. But yeah, that was the first time. So I'm a latecomer to fashion appreciation. Unlike you,
Yeah.
you
And
learned early.
yeah. And you know that fashion. I can tell who you are.
Yeah, you're right. It tells other people who you are, but it also
Yeah.
helps, for me, it help me feel like me. If I am,
Yeah.
if I am wearing the right clothes for me, I feel like me. But
Yeah.
if I'm not wearing the right clothes, if for sometimes I might put something on, maybe it was given to me or maybe I bought it, but I wasn't thinking very much about how it would look and feel. And when I wear something that isn't right for me, I don't feel like me. I'll
Yeah.
walk down the street or I'll go into some place and I'll feel, oh, I don't feel like me. I need to
Yeah. But
change. I
you
need to
know that.
change into something so I can feel like me. It sounds so funny because most people who know me, they don't think of me
Yeah.
they don't think of me as wearing very interesting clothes, but I do have some stories. So in addition to fashion, both of us have also been involved in art.
Yeah.
Most of my art days were in the United States when I would,
Okay.
have an art collection, and I bought some art from, usually young artists that I wanted to support.
I support young artists by buying their painting. Young generation in Vietnam,
Yeah.
they don't think art is some kind like suitable for them because art is something for like old people in Vietnam.
Okay. Okay.
You know that. So
Yeah.
for making clothing, I combine art to my clothes. So that is the easy way to sell art to the young people.
Is it a new experience in Vietnam to support young artists doing creative things?
Yeah, it's pretty new in Vietnam. A long time ago, like the artist in Vietnam is still with the poor. Like in US, in North America, in Europe, they say artist is high standard.
There's a very famous American artist called Saul LeWitt,
Yeah,
and he's one of my favorites. He was active last century, but he did a lot of art where you had it might not necessarily be just beautiful work, but it's intellectually beautiful, and the ideas are very beautiful, and it's also
okay.
just a very, very bold statement. I mean, I haven't seen any conceptual art in Vietnam, but there's so many different kinds. What kind of art do you like, Tan?
at the moment, I like, they call it ugly painting.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I see a lot
This
of
one is
things.
small one. Yeah.
Art needs to do something to you, doesn't it? For me, it needs to change me. I want it to change me.
Yeah.
I want to think differently because of it. Yeah. To me, that's important too. Either reminding me of something from a long time ago. I think the best way to learn about the power of art and how it can change you is to start to meet artists, especially younger artists who are, exploring things in the world. And when you get to know somebody very well who's creating art, then you have a totally new picture of it. So the art is no longer just a picture on the wall. The art is a story.
Yeah.
It's a story about how someone came to create something, how a lens through which they see something. And it's a little bit like when you learn a language, you learn to see the world differently. And just like an art is the same way, when you learn about an artist or you learn about a particular art, then the world becomes a more interesting place and also a more beautiful place. And that happens to me all the time when I encounter both, anything creative, be it artwork, be it fashion, be it music, or even a book that I'm reading or something. To me, that's very important. Art, and this kind of feeling of appreciation for somebody's genius is just very important to me.